3-hour drive. But like, I was gonna wait till I got to Crossmolina, but sure, it's not far away, so we'll see what happens. It'll drop in and out a little bit, but you know, it is all good. It'll pick back up in time, so we'll get it sorted. This time I did bring water, so I don't have to worry about that, thankfully. One thing I hate about week bin, my mum. Yeah, so we're in Crossmolina now. It's about 10 minutes away from Kill's place. This should have decent signal for a little while, but throughout the trip, we will lose signal multiple times because, you know, rural Ireland and all that. But this is a little. It's the closest shops basically to Kill's place. It's this little town, Crossmolina. It's a nice little quiet town. Kind of has the essentials you need in there, and yeah, spent a lot of time in here just buying stuff, and not a lot of time wandering really, because there's not a lot to do. Not running fibre optic cable from my car back. Yeah, right. How dare I not? Only 250 kilometre long fibre optic cable, or 300, or wherever the fuck it ends up at. I really should be, shouldn't I? Alright, this is the little tricky one. 250. Yep. It's a little over 250, but you know, it's all good. The one funny thing you'll notice as I'm driving here, you'll probably pick up along the way, and on the way to Ballina as well, there's quite a lot of American flags, because Joe Biden was here a few weeks ago on a visit, because Ballina was his ancestral home, and he was in Kill's place visiting because the Heritage Centre there has the genealogist that traced his roots back. So it was a big hullabaloo about it all, and there's still American flags hanging around all over the place. It's kind of funny to see, but you know, business makes sense. Otherwise, it's kind of odd. Houses, like we've seen it in a few people's houses, and you're kind of like, what in the fuck is that? Take you a while to get comfortable, all the driving on the wrong side of the road. Yeah. Not the wrong side for me. That's grand, sure. You get used to. Have you ever driven on the left? You'd get used to it pretty quickly. It's like when I went to Canada and I was driving on the right hand side of the road, I was worried it might be a bit weird, and like my instincts would kick in and I'd fuck it up. But no, I didn't really have any issues. The main weird things for me was like hand kind of going for the gear stick where it normally is. So those little things were a bit odd, but otherwise, yeah, it's all good. Just seeing it like this, being used to traffic the other way around. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Oh, you don't have the license. Alright. Right, well then that makes more sense. Hey Uni, how are you, my dear? How's your day going? Welcome to County Mayo, where I'm driving home. Hey, we go boom. How are you, man? Driving stream, yes. So anytime I go to Mayo, which is basically on the west coast of the country, I stream it. Because I'm going from east to west. It's about between a 3 and a 4 hour drive, depending on traffic and all that. And it lets people see some gorgeous parts of the country, albeit through the lens of a car's windscreen and all that, but still no less enjoyable. I'm driving on the wrong side of the road. I most certainly am not doing. I am not at all. It is a nice drive. Got back from walking the dog. Nice. Yeah, it's a lovely drive. It's just long. So this is the kind of, it's a two-parter. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long. I go from the east coast to the west coast in 3 to 4 hours. But when I'm living in the capital, where I can go and get anything I need within like 20 minutes, half an hour, or an hour to go from one side of the capital to the other, depending on traffic. You know, doing a 4 hour drive is not the norm. Yeah, I'm not in the US where a 4 hour drive is normal. And the thing is, I live in the capital, so a 4 hour drive is not normal either. But if you're from Mayo, like my mate Kill, who lives here, a 4 hour drive is not a big deal to him. He's often done Dublin and gone from Mayo to Dublin and back to Mayo on the same day. He's done that drive many times, but he'd do it in 3 because he drives like a lunatic. But yeah, for me, everything is within half an hour of me usually, so I don't have to do long drives. But here isn't, so you know, and I love coming here. It's just a gorgeous place. Like, we pretty much nearly for most of the week, other than going to pick up food or get extra supplies, we just stayed on the grounds and walked through the forests and went down to the lake and stuff like that. Long time no see. Yeah, Caustic, feels like I only saw you about 10 minutes ago or something. You wish you could drive? You could, only if you really wanted. A fucking nibble, yeah. He's been with me all week, so it's grand. You're getting the Ben one in there. It doesn't show it to me, but yeah, for anybody who hasn't spotted a Caustic showing off, there's a few extra emotes now. I got 6 new emotes. I only had space to put 3 of them in, so 3 of them are in Twitch and 6 of them are on Discord. So we have the new ones are the Ben, the Death Star, and the Hug one. They're the 3 new ones. 2 of which involve Ben, so you know, or Ben's proximity through chibi-like art. And uni, what's stopping you driving? Like, just learn to drive. It's actually easy, especially if you're saying you wish you could drive. 4 hour drive gets you from one end of Denmark to the other, regardless of where you are. That's nice. Now, a 4 hour drive will get you east to west of Ireland. North to south would be, I think, about 9. But that would be like the northernmost tip to the southernmost tip. And technically, I think that's in Northern Ireland as well. So technically you're going through 2 countries, because Northern Ireland being a separate country, but we're talking about the island of Ireland. So on the island, it takes you north to south. I think it's about 9 hours. East to west is about 4. The better country. But yeah, so this is I think there's about 4 or 5 spots on this drive where I'll lose signal, and I won't lose it completely. Usually, oh, this is one of them. In fact, it's starting to drop a bit now. Coming into Ballina, where Joe Biden's family came from, apparently. So you know, there's that. It's weird, I don't get why my signal drops coming into Ballina, considering Ballina is pretty big. Well, it's the bigger city in the area. It's just odd. I don't know why it does that. But it picked back up again, so it's grand. Swear to God, every time there's another car, a split second of oh shit. Oh, you know, and I'll give you a laugh. When I was in Canada and obviously they drive on the right hand side of the road, we drive on the left hand side. I did have one moment as I was driving down a housing estate. There was an empty. Hey, Tanagarian, thank you very much, my mum. It was an empty housing estate. There was no cars around, but my friend was in the car with me, and we were driving. And literally, it was kind of like I just instinctively start veering towards the left, and I was like, "You're on the wrong side of the road." I was like, "Oh shit, yeah." That's like, fuck, I better go back. But that was the only thing. That was once, and it was, as I said, housing estate, so not a big deal. And I wasn't driving fast or anything. But yeah, the one thing I would say, like, I thought it was going to be a bit of a nightmare because automatic cars, and I don't drive an automatic. I like driving a manual. I'm used to my foot going to change the clutch and manually changing gears and all that kind of shit, and I prefer it because honestly, the sound the car made as it manually changed gears done my head in. It was really frustrating and annoying because it just sounded like it was being over revved, or somebody slipped out of gear and fucked up in their change. Like, it constantly sounded that. I had to keep saying to my friend, like, is this normal? Like, what in the fuck is this? It sounds like the car's broken. I was like, yep, that's perfectly normal. So, okay, I guess I don't have to worry about it. So, but yeah, I just prefer manual. I like having control over that stuff myself. But I would still highly suggest that anybody travelling to a country that drives on the other side of the road to get a manual, because it's just, not to get an automatic I should say, because it is one less thing you have to think about. You don't have to focus on the fact that, because you also have to think like you're shifting the opposite way as well. So if you're driving on the right, you're used to the gear stick being on the left. If you're driving on the left, you're used to the gear stick being on your right. So it kind of fucks with you a little, with your muscle memory anyway. Caustic, we're up to the amalgamation of the American and Indian flag. So see if any of you can spot it on this building. I'm taking a right turn here, but the building in front has a Frankenstein statue, and Caustic pointed this out to me during the week. For Joe Biden's visit, they stitched together an American flag and an Irish flag, but the way it lies when it's not windy, they stitched it wrong, because basically it's green, white and orange, which is fine, but it's in the wrong order. So it's actually technically the Indian flag, just missing the crest in the middle, because of the way they've done it, because it sits in the wrong direction. So we'll see if you'll see. Yeah, you'll see it here. It's limp in the wind, so you should be able to see as I take this turn. It's green, white and orange from top to bottom, which is the Indian flag, not green, white and orange from left to right, which is the Irish flag. Because it's not blowing in the wind. If it was blowing in the wind, it'd be fine, but it's not. So it's not. It just, I don't know who thought that was a good idea. It's just such a dumb decision to make, because every other flag, or just like put the tricolour beside it if they really want to do that, because that's what a lot of other places are doing. And you'll probably spot now, like, there's loads of American flags around here, because this is Ballina, so this is the place where Biden's roots were traced to when he came and visited here. And honestly, I saw some of the videos online of it, some of the social media and news footage, and I was kind of gobsmacked. They would not be that excited if our own president came to visit here. They were losing their shit over the president of another country, and I was like, why? I do not understand it. Like, they've erected, like, they've signs in a few other places and around the area now going, ancestral home of President of the United States of America, Joe Biden. I'm like, but who cares? It's the United States, not here. Thank you for the look, Enadil. Oh, sorry, Tanagarian. I looked at Enadil about to read what he said and said his name instead. So his heritage goes back how many years? Like, you know, yeah, a lot. Welcome back, Uni. So, Uni, why don't you learn to drive? What's going on? What's stopping you learning? You're saying you really wish you could drive. You could just learn. Surely there's somebody who can teach you. You can take lessons. okay, you might not have the cash for it's fucking expensive. I was about to say that. You might not have the cash to buy a car at the moment, but you can still learn to drive. Hey Esther, how are you getting on? It's like you going over somewhere in Sweden saying, "Oh, this is my ancestry back in one." Yeah, pretty much. But we're used to that, because especially with Americans, it's and I mean it is the truth of it. Like, there was millions of Irish flocked to America back in the day and made a new life there, and then of course their kids grew up, and their kids' kids and their kids' kids, so they have this tie back. So it happens, but it's just funny. You do have a point. It would probably be cheaper to learn now than save. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You could learn to drive now and then go through the process of getting your license and all that jazz, and then when you do eventually get the car, well, you've been a fully licensed driver or a licensed driver for longer, so your insurance and shit should be cheaper, rather than it being, oh, you're brand new to driving and you've just got your license 2 weeks, how much for insurance? They'll hear you have a license for the last 2 years or year or whatever, and they'll look at it differently. Plus, insurance isn't that bad anymore compared to what it used to be. It used to be god awful, but there's more competition out there now. Same with the Scandinavian settlers, just not as many of the not super problem. We get a few places in the US where really, yeah. I mean, it's like Ireland is. We have a fuck ton of Scandinavian heritage from like Waterford, and so was part, I think, some of Cork as well. Like, there was a lot of cities that were set up in the Viking Age by raiders and settlers and all that jazz, and there's a ton of artifacts still here that have been found over the years and all that jazz. But I would never in a million years, even if I found out, oh yeah, one of my ancestors was, I don't know, some Norwegian guy from back in the Viking Age, I'm not going to go, oh, I'm part Norwegian. I'd be like, nah, that was like thousands of years. Because most of them have some kind of European ancestry or other nation ancestry, rather than, like, okay, their parents were from the US, their parents' parents are from the US, but their parents' parents' parents are probably from somewhere else, you know, that kind of thing. So I get it. Think you need some more hours at work before you actually drive? Why are you on a stupid 0 hour or minimum hour contract kind of thing, uni? Yours are from Wales, yeah. Your grandfather's from Wales, so that's a different situation. Like, that's pretty close. No, sorry, your grandfather was from Liverpool, was he not? He has a Welsh name, but he was from Liverpool. Wasn't that not the thing? Different for Americans because their own history doesn't really go back that far. Yeah, exactly. Lots of cultural roots trace back. Yeah, that's it, exactly. So I can understand to an extent in that, but there's a difference to me. Like, what I don't understand, like if Esther said she's getting her English citizenship because her grandfather is from England, so she moves to England, gets her citizenship, she is an English citizen. I still don't think Esther would say I'm English, but she is technically at that stage, you know what I mean? And can claim citizenship. What I don't understand is people who are like 4 or 5 generations removed, have never gone to a country, they know very little about a country, and then saying, rather than saying my ancestors are from here, they're like, oh no, I'm from that country. But you're not. Yeah, ancestors from Wales. Yeah, well, that's because your grandfather's name is Welsh, so somebody in his lineage would have come from Wales. I get you. I get what you're saying. You say it the right way, Esther. That's what I generally look at. I mean, it's whatever. But I mean, in terms of not upsetting other people by trying to claim their nationalities, I guess, which is what a lot of people get triggered on. You tend to do the whole, like, yeah, your ancestry from here. Not 0 hours, but minimum wage and technically part-time at the moment. Ah, right. Well, hopefully that picks up for you, Uni, and you get what you want. Have you been working there long? Are you hoping to stick there, or are you hoping to move on? Here comes the rain. Does that mean you can withdraw money from her? It's not an ATM, just at the moment. But I do like where your head was going out of it. But he is from Liverpool, yeah, so that's what I'm saying, so he's English. You can deposit money in her though, Enidil, if you get one. No, let's not go down that road. Jesus Christ. Sorry, Uni, I'm not trying to imply something that isn't the case. Falling on my car like a memory, yeah, right? Yeah, let's not. Exactly. I was like, yeah, let's not make such presumptuous remarks, or let's not make disparaging comments on Uni's reputation, shall we say. Six months, and it's your dream job, so you're hoping to stick there. Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that part at least. Hopefully they pull the finger out and give you full-time hours though. If it's a job you really enjoy doing and you're happy there, you can't really ask for much better. Like I'll never ever oh, Jesus Christ, dude, move please. I'll never understand people who go for jobs for the money. I get it short term, if you take a job you absolutely hate because it pays a small fortune, because you can just work, you can stand it for a little while and then quit and have all that money saved. I understand that, but long term, I'd prefer job satisfaction over how much I'll get, you know. Because there's a certain level, once you have your bills covered and you have what you need, and you have a little bit of disposable income, you don't really need much else. You'd be a lot more expensive than minimum wage. I have no doubt about it, Uni. I know absolutely nothing about... No, I'm not even going to finish that sentence. I'm just going to say I have no doubt about it. In the last 6 months, employer otherwise, well, Enerdale. She's not talking about in that situation or that sense of it. You got that summer high school teaching job? Oh, fucking congratulations, Esther. I didn't know you were going for a high school teaching job. I thought you were kind of holding out for that. Oh, it's just for the summer. Yeah, you did mention actually. So, is that far from you? And it means your qualifications are getting used. What are your qualifications, Uni? If you don't mind talking about it, and if it's going to give away where you work, what you do, that kind of thing, and you don't want to talk about it, don't. It's like when I say to somebody, oh, where are you from? I don't want the exact location. It's like, tell me country. Because some people start going, I don't really want to say. I'm like, I just want to know country. If I don't know, I don't want you to tell me your address. Yeah, it's just 4 weeks and it's across the street. Well, I mean, at least it'll keep you busy for 4 weeks, and it'll be something new and something you can enjoy. And of course, extra bit of cash in your pocket never seems like a bad thing. Seemed appropriate with me in the car. Hey, Mr. Road Hazard. I am not a road hazard. And hello, Snowy. I am a very careful driver, I'll have you know. There's a reason I've been driving for like 15 years or something like that with no claims and no accidents and no issues. My license is clean, motherfucker. So don't you dare. But how's it going? Animal care. Oh, lovely. I can see why you're saying it's your dream job. So the only thing, like, I always love the idea of working with animals, but I always think as well that it's also going to be a bit heartbreaking, because you're going to see animals at their worst, and you're going to see the horrible, horrible shit that some people do to them. But yeah, you're going to make them better, and you're going to help that. So there's that plus side. Doxy, dirty Tommy Daddy, do now, Annadale. You behave yourself, or I'll do more than dox you. Give you a chance to use your degree and see if you even like teaching. Yeah, well, that's it. It gives you a taster so you know how you feel about it. This is sick. Hey, Thompson. How you doing, dude? Never say that out loud, right? I just jinxed myself. Such hate-love response. Now, sorry, I'm catching up a little bit there. It's all the love. Your carcass is able to muster, young man. And then you put that in. I'm not even gonna read it. How are you getting on, Thompson? Yeah, this is my going from Mayo back to Dublin. So whenever I do this trip, I do the driving streams for it. If I stream, yeah, if you, yeah, exactly. Restream my stream of me driving, pretending it's you, and just cut off the sound. That'd be funny. You just shovel shit all day. You do see a lot of that, and it's hard sometimes. Yeah. Side of the job I can see being horrible, but the satisfaction you get of being with the animals all the time. Wish we could restream like we can retweet. It would be possible. It definitely is possible. All you just have to do is do a browser capture. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, just be able to. That's just hosting, though, Esther. Really, if you auto host, you can do that. Like, I have a load of people set up on my auto host. So if I'm not streaming and they're streaming, if you click on my channel, you just see them. You want that as a quick button. Yeah, there's definitely probably ways of doing that. I don't know how, but there's a bot for that, I'm sure. You forget how to go in and edit it. I think it's in your affiliate settings. You can edit auto hosts and pick your lists and pick whether you want it to go in a specific order or not, and all this kind of thing. Don't have some kind of HUD on my windshield for chat. That would be cool. Speedometers and shit. That'd be funny. But the thing is, because I've often thought about Sarah Boyson, yes, I've often thought about doing a few things for driving streams, but I don't do them often enough to warrant it. So, like, one thing I'd been thinking about is maybe find a way that I could head mount the camera. So, like, because obviously you get the windscreen view and you can see everything in front of me, but there's times where, like right now, I'm passing a lake. Now there's loads of trees on the line here, so you won't see it anyway, but there's points at which I pass where I could turn and show it, and if the camera wasn't in a set position, you'd basically see my field of view. That way I could glance at certain things to show them off. Obviously I can't stare at it because I'm fucking driving, but you know, quick glance, like to my right now there's a gorgeous lake. I could be looking over, showing that a little bit, that kind of thing. But I do this maybe a couple of times a year, so it's cost. If it was my job, yeah, but it's not, and I don't think I could warrant it really. Pools, hot tubs and beaches category when, yeah, Thompson in the hot tub. Maybe a collab. Well, me in a hot tub is never going to happen, come on now. same. The pair of yous, you're just both filthy fuckers. That's all it is. Now, the only downside of streaming driving is that there are dead zones where the signal between masts, the signal will drop, but it comes back. And it's handy because I can still focus on the road and just glance to the side and catch chat as quickly as I'm glancing at my maps. I can see the chat. Need to grow a beard like me to keep people from leaving? Nah, you don't need a beard like me to keep people from leaving. You have your own sexy self, Thompson. My beard just hides the rest. It hides my face so people don't run away. Flash your smile, yeah, exactly. Kept at those push-ups. Now. Jesus Christ. The twink and the bear hitting the beach. Now that is a fucking title. That's fucking funny. I don't think Thompson would be classified as a twink though. I could see it, I guess. Nah, he wouldn't be, nah. Not at all. What is a twink? I'll let they'll go through that one with you. Yeah, exactly. It's usually very small, pretty, tend to be effeminate men. That's why I'm saying Thompson wouldn't be. He doesn't fall in those roles. No, we know he's not gay. We're very sure of that. There's no question on his sexuality there. Although, he can be whatever the fuck he wants to be. It makes no odds. Too manly to be a twink. Exactly, that's what we're saying. You couldn't fall under that category for that reason. You like that it's the twink you're objecting to, not the bear? Oh, if I was gay, I'd absolutely be a bear. But I'm not gay, so, The big hairy cunt. That's me. Still disappointed that's not 100% or 2. You don't think anyone gotta lay her out to get that 1%? Well now. I don't think you are though, Esther. Like, with how much you flirt with Magoo and keep talking about Magoo's tits and keep saying you want the nip slips and all that, you're definitely not 100%. Never ceases to amaze you that the word... Yeah, Flynn, that's because it is. Actually once talk about that, Flynn, where it was because of our accent, it's not a hard T and it's not a hard C, so saying the word cunt, it sounds more like a K when we say it, and the T isn't a hard T, so it's a... Yeah, it's weird. I am very aware that it gets me, like, the way I pronounce certain things allows me to get away with a lot, and that, yeah, if I call, like, it's a combination of accent, and it is pretty much used as a term of endearment. Like, I call many of my friends cunts, or like, the word is used quite often. It's not seen as hugely offensive, or certainly not as much as it would be in other parts. What are you up to, pal? Oh, that's what you're up to. Okay. This is another nice little village. You'll be 2000% then. Flirting doesn't mean you're gay. I didn't say I did. Also, you only flirt with Magoo, so really it's a Magoo thing. Yep, well, I mean, I never said flirting makes you gay. I'm just saying, like, I'm kind of with this statement of nobody's 100% anything. There's always something there, potentially. Finally back at the BC. Well, welcome back, uni. What I've just walked into, oh, we're just talking about sexuality. Somebody, Enerdale, referred to Thompson as a twink. I said, nah, Thompson's not a twink. He said basically that a combo stream between the two of us will be, I think he said the twink and the bear at the beach or something, if we done a hot tub stream combo or something silly like that. And yeah, I said, nah, I don't think he is. But Esther was asking what a twink is. So we explained it, and then explained that obviously we know Thompson's not gay, and Esther said she's 99% sure Thompson was saying, why isn't she 100? And then that's where well, nobody's 100% anything came from. I'm defo bare material. Yeah, I'm fully aware. The only guy you've ever been attracted to is Elliot Page, but you think you can be forgiven for that one? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, Flynn. I mean, shit, I'm 100% no interest in men, but I can still look at a man and go, he's a handsome bloke. You know what I mean? So, we did go to Pound Town over the weekend, dude, so there is that. I mean, Caustic, it's been a while, you know. I'd have been tempted. Flirting skills are on par with other skills. Well, now. What else have we missed? Proof isn't. But yeah, you two get a room already, will you? Love eating pudding. You'd lift your skirt if the clown stopped by, not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, everybody has, like, somebody. It's nothing. I'll never understand, and I never, till the day I die, I will never understand people who are so insecure about their sexuality that they can't say that's an attractive man or that's an attractive woman or whatever. Like, that person's really good looking. Like, objectively, you can still say somebody's attractive and not want to fuck them. That doesn't mean you're anything. It means you have eyes and you can see that somebody is attractive. Whoop-de-fucking-do. What did I miss here? What's me doing? Oh, I love eating pudding. Well, now, who doesn't? Everybody loves a bit of pudding. It just depends what kind. You filthy bastards. Shit, is my phone charging? Oh, don't do that. Careful now. Cheesecake all the way. I'm not a big cheesecake fan, to be honest. I don't mind it. It depends on the type. But, like, I wouldn't be somebody who would have cheesecake often, or it wouldn't be in my mind if I was like, oh, I'd love some kind of dessert or some kind of cake or some kind of whatever. Cheesecake is not going to be the first thing I think. But it can be very good. You're getting a turtle caramel cake for your birthday. What in the hell is a turtle caramel cake? I am very aware though that terms and all that are completely different. Please put pics in the Discord. Yeah, Esther, you'll have to share it when you get it. But no, I don't think I've ever heard of a turtle caramel cake. of me. Go bomb it. This lad wants to put the foot down. I love how he's limited according to his sticker on the back of the van. He is not limited, I can tell you that, because he's doing more than 120 right now. What is in it, Esther? Or items, or I was going to say materials there, but what's the speed limit? Well, on this road, 100 kilometers is the speed limit. I was briefly, for a moment of curiosity, I was doing 120 just there, and he still overtook me. So the maximum speed limit here is 120 kilometers, which is about 75 miles an hour. There is no road you can go more than 120 on. Well, I mean, legally. Obviously you can, but you know. Oh, also I'm losing signal here, so as I'm sure you've already noticed, I just noticed. Yeah, no, you don't do kilometers. I know it's miles there. That's why I converted for you. Ah, we're back. Excellent. Yeah, I'm aware. I think there's only a few places left now that are miles an hour. Like most of Europe is kilometers. The UK is miles. The US is miles. Canada is kilometers. I don't know about Middle East and other areas. Don't know about Australia. I think they're kilometers. I don't know. Doesn't fucking matter. It's just a sign. Miles an hour on this road. And they're fucking blowing past. Yeah, I always thought it was a bit weird that the UK doesn't do kilometers as well. Because it's too European and the UK is run by Europhobes. Yeah. All those charges you don't have to pay anymore and all those haulage things that you... Yeah, I'm not saying anymore. I think we're on the same page on that one. What do you play, uni? What's your potential, uni? What are you thinking of playing? US, Liberia, Myanmar, Pure Imperial, UK. It's funny. Watch out, you're driving on the wrong side of the road. That's only the 4th or 5th time I've been. It's just the right. So yeah, we are definitely minority. Oh, Jesus Christ. Some guy is being a proper knob. Look at this dickhead. And the reason I call him a dickhead isn't because he overtook me, it's because he jumped into the other side, or the other lane for about 15-20 seconds before he started overtaking, so that was stupidly dangerous. Exactly, the right side. Stream is massively choppy, don't know what said. Yeah, I know, my signal is going to shit right now, unfortunately. Just back up now. For a split second you thought DVD, and what made you think no to DVD then, uni? And if not DVD, what other games? What are you playing at the moment? What's your potentials? What are you looking at? What are you thinking about playing? I can highly recommend. The last game I played was Little Nightmares 2. I highly recommend that. I mean, I still like DVD, so I get it. But I understand the love-hate relationship with it. What else is there out there that I've been playing through? Just go through your... no worries, Thompson. Thank you very much, man. Go through your Steam library, see what you haven't played that you've always been thinking about. Give us options, we'll pick for you. that you might sit and crochet. What are you crocheting at the moment, Uni? What you making? Something for you, something for someone else. Gonna get a salad for lunch in Lurk. No worries, Esther. Enjoy your salad. Thank you for the Lurk. I will most certainly drive safe. Have a good one. We're only an hour in. We're not even an hour in, Jesus. Just no one's on. You're not solo queuing. Absolutely not. You could always play killer. What in the fuck is this moron doing? Jesus Christ. Just drive up behind me. I'll let you pass me, you gobshite. Yeah, you could always play killer. Just no one's on. Yeah, I do get that as well, though. We've now left Mayo and we are in County Roscommon. I do understand, because I've had nights like that as well, where it's like, I want to play a game, but I don't really want to play on my own. I want to play something social. I want to play something with others. Nobody's around. I guess I'm not playing a game. So then I either just watch some Netflix or watch a stream or read my book or whatever the fuck. Games you're playing recently: Stardew Valley, some Binding of Isaac. Yeah, you want to be social. Yeah, I get it. Well, you're being social now. You're hanging out here chatting with us, so here's some social element. And yeah, I mean, I've already said this before, but if I say, hey, can I jump in with you, or be a free space, or whatever social game, I'll just look at some of my mates and see who, or go to the game, look and see who of my friends has it, and then fire them a message. Have you played this game recently? What's it like? Do you want to give it a shot? Same way, like when a few of us got 7 Days to Die, I just posted this, let's play, who wants to join? And I'd accidentally bought a few too many CD keys for it, so I just gave out a couple of copies of the game. So that worked. If you're on a game and she'll hit you up, you're back in Discord now. Yeah, exactly, after leaving, because you hated us. Welcome back, Snowy. Well, to be fair, we are friends on Discord. Yeah, exactly. So you don't need to be on the Discord. You can just fire messages and ask. No, you don't hate. I know, Uni, I know. I'm not that fucking worried about it. Or paranoid, should I say. Wait a minute, pretty sure I'm not in Ireland at the moment. Why? Because it's not raining, Snowy? Yeah, we had some really weird weather over the last while. Like I was getting messages about thunderstorms in Dublin. So I think the last few days it's been cloudy, because who wanted to try and catch the stars and get some of the night sky? Because where we are in Mayo, it's an absolute amazing spot for stargazing. But it was cloudy every fucking night until last night. I went to bed. Caustic was going back over to his, and then fired a message to say it's actually a clear sky. So I think he went out and had a look-see and enjoyed it. It was actually sunny over in London today. It was weird. Uni, you're doxing yourself. We know you're from London now. Jesus. Yeah, it's mad when I always find London's way warmer anytime I'm there anyway. But I don't like the heat that much, so I'm good with. Like, we literally had perfect walking weather most of the time over the last week here in Mayo. It wasn't really. It was drizzles of rain here and there. It was lashing rain some of the days, but most mornings and afternoons it wasn't too sunny. It was nice and mild, a little bit of breeze, and yeah, it was gorgeous. It was just walking through the forests, enjoying it. It was lovely, and down to the lake. It was really good. London's a big busy city. It most certainly is. I'm joking, uni. Currently it's warmish and wet, not in a good way. Yeah, warm and wet are great situations in certain circumstances, terrible situations in others. Alas, you are not in the good one. So yeah, it's not a great time. And it's okay, uni. It's not like you've given your address. I've had friends who've streamed and opened the document. It's happened with a few people. Either opened a document that had a full address of theirs or one of their friends and they doxed them, or just casually talking said where they live on stream, either an address or a street. And it's like, Jesus. But I mean, it's all right, unless you're a fucking big streamer, it's your full-time job and you have a huge following. People aren't paying attention to that shit anyway. The likelihood of some stalk, and especially nobody's coming to stalk me, so you know, I'm not worried about that shit. But yeah, you do have to be fucking careful. I'd be the first one to say, don't tell people online where you're from. 23 something something street somewhere in London. Exactly, yeah. I mean, I do, when it gets to these driving streams, 43, now you know her number. You'll find it. Just keep putting that in, she'll correct every word. You'll have her address then, Snowy. But yeah, now I'll still, oh, we got the metal statue suit of armour up here on the right. I don't know if you can see it, it's gone now. Probably not a great view of it though. What the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, like even on the driving streams, I will generally, when I'm about 2 to 5 minutes away from my house, I will stop the stream. Because obviously, I don't mind, like if there's plenty of people who know where I live, that's fine. But I also don't want to leave a video of the exact route to get to my front door. Because, you know, that's just not sensible. So I don't do that. No one wants to stalk you, Grant. You never know, uni. There might be somebody out there who does. You gotta be careful. You are close, Snowy. Nearly. 23, 43, only 20 away. Almost there. Yeah, it's the internet, uni. You gotta be careful. There's some freaks out there. And I don't mean freaks in the good way. There's the odd ones who don't understand that is not the way to treat people. Not the cool odd people, the odd people. 43 isn't your actual door number. Yeah. She's lying now, just trying to cover up her tracks. God, I am glad I got water. Well, Caustic gave me water, so I was going to make a stop off at a petrol station on the way to grab water, but as I made the rookie mistake of leaving my house without any, and yeah, a 4-hour drive streaming and speaking non-stop with no water was not a good idea, which is why I stopped in the last one to go get some, because my throat had been so fucking dry. Doxmeister dude, yep, that's it, that's me. Cover up for the cover up. You'll never know, Snowy, you'll never know. Good old petrol, yep. Is petrol expensive here? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, compared to other places, I mean, when I was in Canada, for example, there it was, I think, $1.50 Canadian for a litre of petrol, which is about €1 for a litre of petrol, I think it worked out at, which is cheap as fuck. Here, I think petrol's currently about €1.59, €1.60, and diesel is usually about 10 cents cheaper. So it also depends where you are and all that. Like if you're in the Dublin city centre, you'll get petrol stations charging you more. Otherwise, not too bad. Yeah, snowy, I know. It's fucking silly. That's why I always laugh when you see Americans giving out about petrol being like $3.50 a gallon or something, and then they do the conversion and go, holy fuck, I wish I was paying that. It's so much cheaper. Diesel is 145 to 155 there. Yeah, diesel's around, I think, 149, 150 at the moment, so it's not far off the same. Being in the city also makes you scared of petrol prices. I mean, placeable all the petrol's 10 to 20 more. Yeah, usually diesel is about 10 cents cheaper than petrol. There was a while where diesel was 10 cents more expensive than petrol, and then they changed it around. I don't know why, but it varies. But I mean, it's still not, considering, for me anyway, like I work from home, I don't have to travel for work anymore. But even when I was working on Vikings, I'd be driving an hour to 2 hours to a location, say an hour and a half, so 3 hours of driving a day roughly. But even at that, 3 hours of driving a day, I was still only spending maybe 20 to 25 euro worth of petrol for that, maybe a little less. So like at that Apple Green here, it's 157 for petrol and 144 for diesel. Price we pay for freedom? Oh yeah, absolutely, Uni. I mean, for me, I don't use my car anywhere near as much, so I don't use petrol anywhere near as much. But I went from maybe Saturday last week, not Saturday gone, the Saturday before, and that filled my car, and that cost me about 80 euro thereabouts. I've used half of that driving here and then driving around a little bit while I was here. I'll probably use another half of that getting back home, and then I'll use it just pop into the shop and shit like that. But I don't have to drive for work anymore, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, for me it's not that expensive, especially I've been driving so long now. Like my insurance is, I think, $480 I paid for my insurance last year, something like that, 480 euro for the year. My car, and it's kept me going, and I haven't had to put a car in every 3 months. Plenty, I have full license, all that. So it was like, when I started driving, I think my insurance was about 1,500, and that was probably because I was only driving like a 1 litre Volkswagen Polo, so it wasn't crazy expensive. And I do realise I'm saying all this as my signal is dropping like crazy, so you know. Jump before you drive. But yeah, it's, for me, the cost works out. I have my freedom, I don't have to wait for public transport, I don't have to wait to go anywhere I want. How long a trip is it, Flynn? It's about 3.5 hours, 3.5 to 4 depending on traffic. So getting here, it was about 4 hours, but I drove from Dublin city centre because I stopped off for beer, and I brought beer with me, so that was like a half hour added on. So usually it's about 3 to 3.5 hours from Mayo, where I was going, back to Dublin where I'm living, in and around that region, traffic dependent. So it could be 3 to 3.5. If I just got a notification there to say that there's heavy traffic on the M50, so there's congestion, so that'll put a little extra time on it. So according to this, I should arrive home but just after 9 o'clock. So it'll put it maybe, I think it was saying, yeah, it should put it at about 3.5 hours total. How much is a taxi fare? Oh Jesus. Oh right, in London getting cabs is probably cheaper than driving. Really? Oh yeah, with congestion charges and shit like that in London. We don't have that here. So I do understand that side of it. And I don't think you'd be getting cabs as in a black cab. I assume you'd be getting a Lyft or an Uber or something, which they don't exist here, so ask for a friend. About £7 depending on, yeah, I mean that's a how long's a piece of string. But I also know Snowy saying that tongue-in-cheek, as in, right, now he can find out how long a journey £7 will get you, so he knows the distance within London that you could have to travel, that kind of shit. That's why he's saying that. But it's all tongue-in-cheek, jokey joke, so Snowy's not a fucking weirdo. Well, he is, but he's not that much of a weirdo. No, yeah, see, I don't think I don't know what you're up to, Snowy. Oh, you were actually asking. Are you thinking of going to London? Oh, you were actually asking me. Alright. I don't get cabs very often, Snowy, so I wouldn't know. It varies though. Taxis, if I got a taxi from Dublin city centre home, you're looking at 25 to 30 euro. For a half-hour drive, but that's the city centre, so it's different. Elsewhere, yeah, it varies depending on journey. But taxis aren't super expensive, but they're not cheap. And we don't have Uber, and we don't have Lyft and all that here. They don't exist. The only thing we have is we have a taxi app called Free Now, which basically lets you find taxi drivers who have it in your location so they can get to you quicker. But it's still taxi prices. Quarter's not dropping you here. Yeah. Oh, what about roughly a 3.5 hour drive? A couple of €100 probably, Snowy. You'd have to pay up front and it'd be a couple of €100. What would be my fare for taxiing somebody? Well, that's entirely different. If it's Snowy's coming to Dublin and then wants to be driven to Mayo, well, that costs nothing, Snowy. That is free of charge, my good man. Yeah, sorry. Lads, look, I've worked the full day's work and I'm fucking driving home now. You gotta give me some. Oh, Jesus Christ. Guess so, yeah. Nah, Snowy, if you were coming to Dublin, obviously I'd happily get you from the airport, bring you around, show you the sights, all that jazz, and then yeah, we'd fuck off to Mayo. That wouldn't be a cost. You could kick in on petrol if you wanted to, but you would not be expected to, nor would I ever ask a mate to fucking pay me for a drive. That's mental shit. It's not something you do to friends, although I do know a few people who do that kind of shit, but you know, that's them. But nah, not all. You thinking of coming to Ireland at some point, Uni? When are you thinking of coming? Where are you thinking of going? You've never left England. Jesus, love, get out of there. You gotta visit. How have you never left England? Like, how have you not at least taken a trip to Scotland or to Wales? That's crazy. I've been to both, and I don't live there. You're a lunatic. Although that said, you have money. I know, it's expensive. The train systems there though are fucking mental. Like myself and Costic took a when we were in Birmingham, we had a little trip over to Birmingham a few weeks back, and we went from Birmingham to East Midlands. It was about an hour's drive, and it was about an hour drive with a lift or an Uber, and I think it would have been 2 hours by train with multiple stops, but it was probably cheaper for us to get the taxi, because the fucking trains in the UK are mental price. I think we paid like £35 each or something like that for the drive, and we were quite happy to do it, because it would have been roughly the same price or more for the train. It's just getting bigger and bigger. Excellent, Snowy. Just to sort out when you can take the time. Well, you know where you can go, and you know who's going to be there to fucking meet you, so keep me in the loop so I can actually be there this time. You never been to Wales or Ireland, but you lived in both England and Scotland. I'm surprised. Why have you never been to Wales, Flynn? I mean, Wales is easier to get to, obviously. It's on the same continent. It's on the same island. It's a drive or a train or a bus or whatever. I understand you got to get on a ferry or a plane to get over here, so it's a little different. You know, someone got on a plane from Newcastle to London via Berlin. That's cheaper than the train and faster. Yeah, that does not surprise me. The train system in the UK, I always forget about it when I haven't been to the UK in a while, and then I go back and I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's fucking shocking. London tube system is scary. I quite like the tube system, to be honest. It's uni. I think the fact that like the tap and pay system they have in place as well is really good. That's the one train, I guess, that is not overly extortionate to the underground. But yeah, fucking regular trains are mental. Most of your life's been in Scotland, just never a reason or an opportunity. Yeah, true. I do understand if you don't have the opportunity or reason to go, sure, you know, it's not going to happen. Like my first time in Scotland was for just a lads' weekend kind of thing. A load of lads I went to college with wanted to go to Scotland for kind of a drinking holiday, but the caveat to that was, yeah, we're going to go there, we're going to do all of that, however, we are not going to just do that, we have to do some tourist stuff. It's like, if we want to go on a piss up, we can do that here. It's dumb as fuck to go to another country and do that. We can do that and see the sights, then yeah, I'm down, and that's what we done, and it was great. And then that was Edinburgh, and we had a lot of fun at Edinburgh. And then I went to where was my friend living? In, I think it was Folks. Fuck, I can't remember now. I don't know, my mind's gone on a blank. I went there as well. I've only been to 2 places in Scotland. Wales was because a friend lived there at the time. He went over there for university, so a few of us went over to visit him. And the UK have been back and forth many times for many different reasons. London's so busy you don't like it. Yeah, honestly, I like and dislike London for the same reason. I always feel like everybody's in their... It's always stuffy and people are arses half the time. Like, Dublin's a busy city as well, but it's not that rushed usually. Well, I mean, there's arseholes everywhere, so you can't really say it like that. Funny enough, talking about Birmingham, we're going up there in June, doing an internet friend meetup for an expo. That's what we were doing. So it was, we went to Birmingham and met up with Magoo and her husband, Tock and his girlfriend, Geordie and Chelsea, and myself and Costa went over, and we all met up, and it was fucking Birmingham. Where we were in Birmingham, certainly I really didn't like. The location was not great, but the people were phenomenal. We had a fucking great time, really enjoyed it, but we were in basically the fucking city centre area, right in the middle of clubland essentially, where there was no pubs, it was all clubs, blaring music, and you couldn't, like, the first night we found a nice pub to sit down in so we could all have the chats and have a few pints and just enjoy it. Second night we struggled for finding that, and it's just kind of, yeah, a lot of the people around that area were just arseholes, like people almost walking into you on the roads, and just a lot of rudeness. I wasn't a big fan. So like we said, we'll do it again, but it won't be Birmingham the next time. I also think if we went to Birmingham again, it just shouldn't be that part of Birmingham. And it was Easter weekend, so it was even fucking crazier for that. So I mean, there's reasons it was so busy, but you know, come to London. I've been to London many times. There's usually a meetup that we do once a year. There's a WoW community that I'm part of, and the guy who runs that sets up a London meetup, and we end up, it's always in Bromley, so we end up in Bromley once a year. Now I can't make it this year, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be there, but you'll get everybody from, like, so we'll have obviously loads of people in the UK, some come from Scotland, some come from Wales, yeah, I always say German, sorry, Swedish, Finnish. Pretty sure you're in there. That's usually where we stay. We stay in the Premier with the Nando's beside it, and that's the Friday night thing. Is everybody meet up, go to Nando's for food, hang out in the pub, or hang out in the bar, in the hotel, and just drink. And then we'll do a lot of stuff on Saturday. Oh yeah, my signal is shit. Whoops. Yeah, it's gonna happen. This is another one of those areas, unfortunately. It's picking up again though. It might get better that way. It'll come back though, it'll come back. It is just a temporary situation. I couldn't get the time off work. I've used up most of my annual leave, and somebody else has time off around then, so I would have only, well, I could have used them and had little to no annual leave left. That'd be fine, but thinking for a second, we could actually meet anytime you want, Uni, anytime you want. Don't be a weirdo, alright? No, actually, I mean do be. Yeah, I think the next one we're doing is going to be on the east of the UK. Oi, what do you mean, oi? Oi, what? I didn't say you are, I said don't be, and then I said actually do be. Doobie doobie doo. Exactly. Flynn's got it, Flynn's got it. She knows what she's talking about. Yeah, that's one of those things. It's funny because I've seen, I think Jamaican has it quite strongly, and I think it's kind of originates in Irish, where it is this extra tense of you do be doing things, as in usually you do that. You might not do it now, you might not be doing it now, but you do usually, so you do be. and it's carried over into English as well, because it's based on how a lot of mannerisms, a lot of way Irish people say stuff in English is a direct link to how it's said in Irish, or how it would be translated, so that it kind of just follows in. So that's why things like do be is perfectly grammatically correct in Irish English. But yeah, I'm talking shy now. Well, what's new, right? Because you work in a school, you only really get school holidays off. So you work in a school and with animals, so a veterinary school, I'm guessing. Let's not make connections here. I'm not looking to try and dox you. Which makes Stranraer, yeah, a lot more expensive. I do like this little town. I always enjoy coming through here. All the buildings are so colourful, and it's just a nice little pleasant area. There's a myth, if ever you heard it. What myth, Flynn? I said a lot of things during that, so you know. Doxing you, yeah, I know, Uni, how dare I? It's not a vet school, yeah. Let you know what you're talking about. Alright. Nah, you know plenty, Flynn, you know plenty. Nobody always has to know what they're talking about. But, you know. It's not a vet school, okay. I'm not doxing you, I'm just connecting dots during conversation that we've had here. I'm not trying to say, you know, here's Uni's address, she lives at this exact location. Even if I knew, I'd never fucking say that. Like, I have a few people that come in here, I know their addresses because I've sent them shit. Doesn't mean anybody else gets to know that information. You know what you don't know, that's the important thing. Exactly, Flynn. Not a fake it till you make it kind of person. I get that. There's nothing wrong with knowing a little about a lot, but pretending like you know everything about everything is always a weird thing. I don't understand why people do that. There's nothing wrong with saying, and if you know everything, it's always fun to learn new shit. But I do not also, Jesus Christ, I also have no clue what the traffic ahead of me is like, so I can't overtake right now. But I will shortly. I just hope Kale's not watching this. He'll have a fucking hernia about the fact that I haven't already overtook this car. Oh, signal's gonna be going here as well, unfortunately. Yeah, no, it's going down more. It's alright, I'll still waffle shit anyway. Makes no odds. Come on, mister, pull over.